Where are we 1 year from now? What will the state of the world look like? Thank you. We greatly appreciate you taking the time each week. This from someone whose name here is Don't Distance from Nature.
Well, I mean, as a planet, a year from now, we're going to be right here. I mean...
Can you map out for us where we're going to be 3 months from now as a planet?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
Got a problem.
That's bad.
He's going to tear the whole thing down.
I am really glad I tightened that. Otherwise, we could have had a little catastrophe. A catastrophe is what we could have had. Yes. For those of you who are just listening and not watching,
that's
nothing
not happening
happened.
Here. That's in the Q&A. So,
well, there could be people with their eyes closed.
Not at this point. Well, we got cat hour here.
We do.
Yeah.
Where are we going to be a year from now? Besides here. I shudder to think. I don't think these people have left themselves a graceful exit from this authoritarian nonsense. And
dude.
I worry about where we're going to be. I also worry that the places that you would think would be most immune to this garbage seem to be, especially if they're in the southern hemisphere, engaged in absolutely remarkable and self-defeating policies.
In places with like almost no cases of COVID, in which they're claiming that, the death of someone past their life expectancy is a tragedy and warrants shutting down cities and such. So it's
right. I mean, it may be a tragedy, but destroying civilization over it is not obviously a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah. So I have been trying. I have not been in an optimistic frame of mind for a couple of weeks about where we're going to be in a year and what this all means about humanity. Because if we get out of this one, there's going to be another one, and there will need to be a reckoning. There will need to be a moment in which everyone who went authoritarian, who went ash positive, who said, that mile-long line is shorter than the inch-long line because MSNBC told me so, looks themselves in the mirror and says, I did that. I fell for it. I stated it publicly. I was wrong. I shamed people who didn't need to be shamed, who shouldn't have been shamed. I was part of the problem. I should not fall prey to that part of myself again. What do I need to do? I'm worried that reckoning, even if we get out of this, is not going to happen. So I say that probably should have come second, but the one of the few things that gives me some hope right now of emerging from this one, which again isn't a solution because we need it not to be able to happen like this again. But it is now ever more widely recognized that these vaccines have very low efficacy. Put aside the safety questions entirely for the moment. That they're, even that crazy Atlantic thing that I read from in the first hour says, antibodies peak 3 weeks after. Like, oh, yeah. And, some research that we talked about a couple of weeks ago said 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 months after your second dose, you're already getting waning immunity. And that's why they're talking about boosters. But it is my sense, because of people we talk to and because of the people we talk to. And so, yes, this is sort of anecdotal, but it is my sense that there are a lot of people who got vaccinated as they were supposed to, were dutiful about it, didn't ask too many questions, or maybe they did, and they still decided to get vaccinated. And because of what they have seen since, it could be about injury, it could be about the lies from the politicians or the public health authorities, or the recognition that they appear to have signed up for an unending treadmill as opposed to one and done and we're out of this. Could be for a lot of reasons, but that a lot of people who signed up for the first two are not going to do boosters. I think that is why I think that the government, as incompetent as it seems in many regards, can read that wind well enough right now that is why we have not seen mandatory boosters. That frankly, if you got vaccinated in February of this year, the idea that you're still considered fully vaccinated is laughable. Whatever fully vaccinated may have meant at the time, is laughable. And so At what point does your Vax card that is getting into like restaurants in Seattle, which you can't go into if you're not vaccinated at this point, for instance, at what point does that require a booster to get you in? A lot of people who got vaccinated aren't going to do with boosters. And then we're going to have an even larger number of people who are saying, wait a minute, why are my civil liberties being curtailed? Why am I one of the dirty ones now? I even followed your orders the first time. And now I didn't follow them enough, even though your orders just have gotten stupider and stupider. So, that I think is what can break here. It's one thing to call those of us who never got the jab dirty and vermin, and the reason that the thing is continuing and all of this, all of which is untrue. But it's going to be quite another sleight of hand for them to convince everyone who's eagerly signing up for boosters that even the people who got their first two and just are not signing up for infinite boosters more are also dirty and vermin and causing the problem.
Yes. To the extent that this is initially about a pathogen and it is now about something else that involves at least compliance.
Yeah.
It may also involve, I don't know, the content of these inoculations, but and the destruction of the control group so that we can't ever see what the consequence of this was. The question about, I don't know how to say it delicately, right? The vaccine card thing and the booster thing and the fact that some people will not get a booster who did get the initial set of vaccinations. And, look, lots of people are in that camp today, but, we're going to see an arms race and they're going to put on the pressure to get boosters. And lots of people will buckle for the same reasons that they buckled the first time, which are that they want to engage in normal life. And this is the carrot that is going to be offered to allow them to engage in normal behaviors, whether or not it makes any sense. And I don't know. I don't know how that game plays out. But from the point of view of, does it make any sense to say that you're fully vaccinated? Obviously, your other point's a really good one. If 3 weeks is where these things peak and it starts trailing off, there's such a thing as fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
Are you at the peak or are you somewhere else? And the real point is that fully vaccinated may be the way people wearing masks that don't have a positive effect may be a hallmark of compliance more than it is an immunological fact.
Yeah, I follow the rules.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.